Another bias I want to highlight in this episode is that name bias, because your husband is from Taiwan, so naturally you adopted his family name. And I remember seeing an online post of you mentioning living in Japan with a non-Japanese name is not as easy as one would think. So could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in Japan, about 98%, so almost everyone is Japanese. So very few foreigners, the ratio. So non-Japanese name is not well equipped in the system and people. And then I would say the technical challenge is like, so some system, when I want to register my name and some, the system simply doesn't accept the non-Japanese name, so it's always keep error and error. So I don't know what to do, and then people assume that everyone has Japanese name, especially when they see like a Japanese, like Asian. So and then especially they speak Japanese. But every time when I want to make a reservation, like a restaurant or like a place, they ask my name. And then I will say, my name is Su Mizuki. So in Japanese family name for, so my name is Su Mizuki, and then they think like they cannot really get what is Sue, and then so they keep asking what was that, so maybe the connection was bad, and then they just keep asking, and then I will end it up like, oh, this is not Japanese name, this is Taiwanese name, and they say, oh, okay, now, and then my name Sue, so HSU and spelling, and in kanji we use the kanji in Japanese too, but Japanese people are told to pronounce or read the kanji as Jo instead of Shu. So a lot of cases people read my name Jo, and then, for example, like a delivery person, they bring the package or the mail and then say like, oh, this is package for you, you are Jo-san, right? And then I'm not Jo, but I also understand that the Japanese people read it, the kanji, as Jo. So I think at first I correct, this is not Jo, but this is a Shu. But I think I just getting tired of correcting everyone's pronunciation, because I understand that in Japanese education we learn that kanji is to read Jo. Another thing is like I noticed the difference before and after I changed my name, that some people, not everyone, some people's behavior and communication style is a little bit rude. I think if you are Japanese, if I know that you are a Japanese person who live in Japan, I think maybe you say like a respect, like in Japanese language, there are like several tone and then words to show your respect to someone elder or someone like important person. For customers, for example, people usually use the most respect tone to customers. But when I go there, for example, and then for example, I write my name in kanji, and then the kanji is, we use the kanji, but we don't use it for a person's name. So people notice that this is not Japanese, and then people assume that I'm not Japanese. So I think sometimes people's behave, how they communicate with me, a little bit rude, because they assume that I'm foreigner. And then when I say something in Japanese, it's very fluent because I'm a Japanese native speaker. They notice that, oh, you're Japanese, and then they change their attitudes. So I feel a little bit weird that why you change your attitude toward Japanese person,
And did anyone ever question you? It's like, oh, why did you give up your Japanese name?
Sometimes, but in Japan, well, in my case, I married to a foreigner, non-Japanese person, so I could keep my Japanese name. But usually, if I marry to a Japanese person, I need to pick whether I keep, as a couple, we need to decide one family name. And a lot of case, a couple will choose like a husband side family name. So it's still very common, and then only some case woman side. And then to getting married as like international marriage, I didn't really need to choose. I didn't really need to change I could keep my maiden name. but I want it because it's a very personal story, but I had a very long relationship, like 8 years. And then we did like a long distance relationship. And then also we lived together for like 4 years in Tokyo. And then the timing we decided to get married is like I got an opportunity to go back to US as a researcher. But he had a job. My husband had a job in Japan, so we have to like live separately. He stay in Japan, and I go to US for 1 year. So I feel like we decided to get married, but at the same time, if I don't change my name and if I keep my maiden name, I feel like I couldn't really feel like that I got married and we are together. And then another thing, like I wanted to have a kid in the future at the time. And then if we live in Japan, since it's not still common to have both parents have a different, like a separate name. Maybe I'm too traditional person, but having that one family name is something I wanted. And then I also anticipate that living in Japan without Japanese name could be really challenging especially for younger kids. I have seen the other like classmates who kept their like Chinese name or like Korean name. I grew up in Kyoto, so a little bit more diverse. So there are classmates, their family came from China or like Korea. So and then even they have like Japanese name. For some classmates discovered that our family came from China. My grandparents came from Korea, and then I also seen that some kids are buried because of just that. So I feel like instead of me asking my husband to change to Japanese name, I really like my husband's name. And then so I wanted to change it so that we all have same family name. And then even when my kid in the future has some kind of difficult moments, I will say like, oh, I changed my name from my Japanese name to your daddy's name because I think it's really cool. And then I really want it to be two together. So that I think I really want to encourage that. And also I want my kid to be proud of having the part of my kids is really connected to Taiwan, not just Japan. Although we are in Japan. So that's something I think I changed for me, also for like my kids and my future kids.
That's such a beautiful story. And I really love how when you on that online post, when you're highlighting your husband's last name, you wrote that there will always be people and systems that continuously don't get your family name right. However, you choose to, feel the joy in life, and you want to focus on the special things that this unique name in Japan, to Japanese people, right, could bring to you. Like you choose to, feel and enjoy all the benefits that the Su name comes with. So